Hello, thank you for watching again. Today we're going to talk a little bit about tuning a machine. I'm just going to show you the basics pretty much. I'm not going to go into detail. This machine in particular, this is the same machine I have from previous videos that you guys been watching. I've done a couple of changes on this frame because I noticed people saying, oh, that looks pretty heavy and stuff. And it is a heavy machine. I kind of like that. The reason why is because I don't know. I just like to feel the weight, even though sometimes doing Art 2 you're gonna be having a machine holding a machine that is pretty heavy for between an hour to 3 hours. Sometimes you do longer sessions when you're tattooing. So what I did on this machine is I kind of cut off the frame. If you can see the frame, kind of remove pieces of the frame, and also I changed the coils on this machine because I noticed that this machine wasn't set up right. So I did a couple of changes to it. I was able to get these awesome coils from this guy that makes the coils. Never get any cheap Chinese. That's actually what I had before. With this machine, I had some cheap Chinese made in China coils, but those are just a piece of crap. They just don't help you at all. So but anyway, so get something nice. This probably are gonna cost you between $30 to 45 or $50 or what. Depends on what you want. Depends on how much you want to pay. But don't get anything cheaper than that. You can get, if you get some Chinese made coils, you can get them for like $15, $10 sometimes, but that's not gonna help you a lot because because these guys, they don't the Chinese made, they don't really know what they're doing. They're just mass producing the coils. They tell you it's an A wrap, but it's actually a 10 wrap and or 6 wrap, A wrap, and it's probably 6 wraps. So they don't know exactly how many wraps they're putting into it. Versus these guys, these are handmade, and these guys are actually know exactly what they're using, what they're putting into the all the wiring and so on. So these guys are pretty good. So get it when you get a coil, just get it from US made. Don't get any Chinese cheap coil because it's gonna give you more problems and headaches than anything else. And by the time you realize it's the coil or anything is, and then you can try using some of those Chinese ones made in China, and then they'll probably work good for you. But in the long run, it's so harder to tune up your machine right, and you'll notice the difference as soon as you swap those coils. You're gonna notice the difference. It's gonna be a big difference. For instance, this machine, I have a nickel and a dime over here to show you. So because a lot of people, they said a nickel for a shader and a dime for a liner. So but actually in a reality that's true, but there is so many other factors in order to tuning a machine. Sometimes you have to look at the factor where your contact screw is. How far is it behind your armature band, your armature bar ending, or is it in front of it? So in this case, it's in front of it. See how much is pushed out. That's because I have it set up as a shader like that. So let me run it and show you how this machine runs, and I'll show you the spacings and everything. So you see how this machine runs. So on the spacings with this machine, also I don't know, some people they might tell you to by the feel of it, that's how you're supposed to tune up your machine. That's actually how the pros actually do it. These guys have been doing it for so many years, and their power supplies are like, they just have two knobs. You want to tune it up a little bit to turn up the voltage, and the other one the speed. And they know exactly how they like their machines, just by feeling it, just by feeling the vibrations against your thumb, and they can see how it's bouncing back, and that's how they actually do it. And but in my case, I do it differently. I've been reading a lot, and now I guess now we have digital power supplies, and they actually tell you exactly how your machine is running, instead of just guessing or going by your feeling, by your feel to it. And a lot of old timers, and not old timers, but you know been doing it for a long time, tattooing, they'll just go by the sound of it, and they'll tell you exactly how your machine is running, and by the look of it, they will tell you how your machine is running, and by the setup too. So that tells you a lot too. But there's a lot of secrets hidden there, that a lot of people, they don't like to tell you, because they just don't. It took them a long time for them to learn all these things, and then for somebody just to give it away like that, and also to prevent people that is just doing it at home, but the reality is that, even if you want to do it at home, I don't know, or in a professional tattoo shop, you want to do your best. That's the point. Bottom line, you want to do the best, and but the problem with doing things at home is that you don't know exactly how what precautions you're taking. Like you need to take a lot of precautions, like because there's a lot of cross contamination. You're dealing with bloodborne pathogens. That's very scary when it comes to either giving somebody an infection, or transmitting diseases. So you just want to stay away from that. So I would just recommend you not do it at home, basically. But if you're doing it, it's up to you. But just be aware that you're not supposed to do that. It's actually pretty bad. And a lot of people, they say, oh, you know what, but how am I gonna learn anyways? If I have to start from somewhere. And getting into this trade is really, really hard. Not everybody will let you into their shops and let you learn. It's just the way it is, and unfortunately, but but whatever. So anyways, going back into tuning your machine, let me show you something. So so if you look at this frame, when I'm pushing into the armature bar, you're still gonna see some space in the back part of the coil, on the base. This is called air gap. So the air gap in the back is still a little bit there, maybe a little bit more than what is supposed to be there. So if I go with these little spatula and I try to get it in there, you're still gonna have some space. So and if you go by the dime or nickel, if you go by the nickel, you have your nickel space right there. So that's actually good. So and then when you run it, it runs smooth too. But it has to do not just the nickel and dime, but as I told you before, it has to do with the angle of your contact screw, what type of springs you're using, the front spring and the back spring, how much tension you have in there, and the type of coils that you're using, the spacing in between the saddle and your armature bar. That means this is space right here. So there's a lot of factors involving tuning a machine, not just a simple factor of their, just a diamond nickel. It takes more to it, just a diamond nickel measurement. And that's basically it. I'm gonna show you something. This is what I'm using for a shader, and I'm gonna show you my liner. This liner that I just built, and this is something that I have a lot of pride into it, because it took me a lot to build this little machine. This piece over here, this awesome cool piece. This is just I went to the flea market, and I got this. I saw this piece of brass. I don't know exactly what it was from, but it had some other parts over here, and I just cut them off. And I said, oh, this could be a good machine. And I just went to and I got these this crucifix too, so that make it look really nice. And if you can see the base of my frame, I use a nut right here, brass nut, and I just solder it. And and these are my coils. I kind of like these coils, you know. Always use handmade coils from US. Don't use any Chinese cheap stuff, because it's gonna give you more headaches. That's actually, you learn from mistakes, and that's how I learn. Buying some cheap stuff, always buy the expensive ones. Even though if you're just gonna build one machine, but you wanted to make it run good. If you notice the difference between this machine and this other one, the contact screw is different. So this contact screw is behind it, so that's actually, that's how you can tell if it's a shader or a liner. Some you know, like even this part, the base for my contact screw over here, is kind of a little bit pushed too much forward. So this will actually, if in the future, if I want to set up as a shader, I could do that by pushing this a little bit, putting a longer armature bar, and that will do the trick. And then when you push on this right here, remember, when you push on it and then you make your coils touch, you always have to have a little space in the back, and that's how you can actually tune this. And in order to tune, and tuning has a lot more to do, just, you know, not just tuning, but you know, when you tune up your machine in real life, you actually don't tune your machine just the way it is like that, but you have to actually load your machine. Loading meaning you have to put the needle and everything into it, and then you have to put your rubber bands and everything, and that's how, when you tune it, when you're ready to tattoo, that's when you tune your machine, and then you know how it's running. Let me run this machine for you so you guys know. So right now I have this machine running as a liner, and I really like the way it's running right now. So you can see it from this angle right now. Okay, and so in another video, probably I'm gonna go into more details of how to tune up your machine. I don't know, on my next video, what I'm actually gonna show you. I'm sure you've seen my video on pedals, so I'm gonna show you another video on a cool pedal that I made. You know, you can actually go different ways on making your own custom pedal. Okay, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.